you very much, Mr. Praveen, for this opportunity, and I welcome all our speaker for this discussion. As we know that HSE is a very important topic nowadays, given the recent events that we have experienced in last 5 years in the chemical industries. Particularly when we experience tremendous growth in the market, it becomes very important that HSE goes hand in hand. So the most important topic that we face nowadays is with growth story of India that we have at present, the business are evolving at rapid speed, and so the business strategies are. So I would like to understand that how our organizations cope with that in terms of EHS goals. How we ensure that our EHS policies are in synergy with long-term business strategy, and also how we ensure that it remains consistent in case of uncertain circumstances like major change in the processes or expansion or major operational restructuring. So I would like to understand that from Mr. Sahani, if you can throw light on this topic.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Hello, am I audible? It's a very good topics regarding the how the sustainability we have to understand and what is the leadership which is coming with the EHS policy. So into that just I want to express and I want to tell regarding the what is happening, especially when I will consider my organizations, different organizations also. Then basically I will share my experience of my organization into that what we have done, what I have done. The embedment of a EHS policy with a business, a strategic business, and its growth with a sustainable is very important for a long term. When we will embed what the EHS requirement is there, which a sustainable growth, then definitely we can achieve that. And the second things for a long terms and the sustainability, it is very important that whenever any expansion is coming, any kinds of restructuring is getting done, any kinds of we can say the substitution is coming, that time the EHS, the risk assessment is must, and that should be embedded, and that should be a protocol with a MOC, management of change, with the mandatory terms. What is happening, sometimes suppose any expansion is there, any substitution is coming, in that case we are not understanding the hazards and risk, what is embedded with that. And just with a small discussions, we are moving ahead. So embedment of this, because what our EHS personnel is telling, what the terms is involved with this, to understand this is must. MOC. Now coming to the MOC, what is there? That MOC is mandatory, and these kinds of things should come from the senior management's commitments. The commitment is must here. What is happening, sometimes we are writing it on the paper, but writing on the paper is not things. What the KPIs performance is coming from our EHS personnels, there we are just exactly observing what is really moving down on the bottom. So kinds of things. Also investments on the trainings, investments on the new technology, investments on the leadership quality improvements, empowerments of our safety personnels, kinds of things. This will give our better things what we require here. Yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sahani. I would like to ask Mr. Anurag if he would like to add something on this.
Yeah. Good morning. So just to add what Mr. Sahani has said, First of all, I'm very happy to see that there are in a safety or EHS discussion, the panelists, the speakers are from the operation side, because implementation of EHS in the operations is the real challenge. And what we see is, if our environment, safety and health of employees is addressed, production is the byproduct of it. Let me be very clear and very open in that. If we have implemented this and there is a sustainable operation, production will come at the design rate and over the design rate. It is bound to happen. And to add, what we have done in our organization, in our past organization, was a stage gate process. A stage gate process involved a CFT to sign off at each level from design to the implementation, so that we are clearing the steps, all the steps and all aspects of the EHS are covered. So that was a very structured process and we were able to maintain it. And if there are any A category observations, means the critical observations, that has to be time-boundly implemented and resolved so that we go into the next stage. So that was my opinion on the EHS aspect by the leadership team. The leadership commitment comes from the reviews where we have the periodic ones and we say no means no. We will not move ahead unless this is resolved. So that's my thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sahani and Mr. Anurag. Of course, it is very important because EHS is not one-time job or it's aspect that need to be taken care in one particular segment of business. It is end-to-end process and it should be started right from the feasibility study when we want to establish the business somewhere. Now both Mr. Sahani and Mr. Anurag has talk about leadership. So I would like to know, or I would like to elaborate it in detail, how leadership plays a vital role in shaping overall EHS strategy for any organization and navigating it particularly in the chemical industry, because implementation of EHS and particularly sustenance of the performance is not possible without the leadership support. So I would like to understand from Mr. Santosh, how does it happen during your 33 years of experience?
I'm audible? I'm audible, Master? Thank you. Who is leader? First question is who is leader? In my view, leaders means a person who has a capacity to influence a group of person, a group of this organization or at a organization level. That person is very important role. In Hindi I can say Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. But here no Praja, no Raja, right? But yes, definitely that concept applicable here also. That a person who is the capacity to guide a business, to direct a business at different level, to adopt a practice, to adopt a culture, to adopt, to moderate, to expand the business, that person should know that what is required, where we want to go. And if we want to go, then what is our this activity will impact our environment, our safety, our social structure, our overall this our society and nation. So that person should have a basic knowledge, at least basic knowledge and hand-on knowledge, how he should influence that group of people in safety, in environment, in health requirement. That person should demonstrate. And definitely what our topic is the policy, safety policy, HS policy, whatever you can say, right? That is the very important document that governs the entire business, our strategy. How that person at different level, I'm not talking only our CEO, our directors or our chairmen, but I'm thinking every level, a shift in charge level person, our manager person, a plant head person, our site head person, how he's contributing as a leader, at personal capacity and as this is the organizational capacity to influence that person in HSEF requirement. That is how he's leading personally, how he's engaging, involving in different activities. For example, One safety meeting is planned and one other meeting planned. How he's going to weightage to the safety meeting? How is going to give dialogue with their people in the something, if something not acceptable? How is going to get a message that is not acceptable, please? How is taking deviations from this something happened and safety is being debated? That is very important. And the role of the leader, safety culture, how he is personally taking round the field, how he is taking a personal safety as a plan, okay, what he will do. Because something sharing and sharing, this knowledge sharing is very important. But when you got field and see how, then it is very difficult to implement. So I think that is a very important role in safety as a leader. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Santosh. Now, leadership is a vast topic and equally important. You talk about a demonstration, which is one of the vital part of leadership, the demonstrable behavior. Because, as you said, yatha raja tatha praja. So, the way you behave, your subordinate follows. So, I would like to understand from Mr. Gopinath, how does it, because you have vast experience of operations and leading the team, how does it work in a practical field in terms of demonstrable behavior when it comes to EHS?
Thank you, Mr. Ritesh, and thank you ICN for giving me the opportunity to be in the panel today. And an important discussion that we have today is the understanding HSE, and this is also an important topic. As we understood from yesterday's presentations of our big leaders, and we understood why people are not coming into chemical industry, right? So it's very clear that leaders have to set examples, and EHS has to start from the top. Yeah. So I was just going through the data in the last 10 years. So we had roughly around 130 incidents and around 200 fatalities in chemical industries, which is roughly, coming out of the registered chemical industries, which are unregistered, we don't know actually. Yeah. So this is a very serious topic, why HSE is very important and why we cannot attract people in our chemical industry due to these kind of incidents. So EHS at top leadership, how we can do it. So how the policy can define. So policy can define on what basically you need to have in structure in place throughout our organization. Yeah. So we need to have kind of what goals we want to achieve. Like say we are talking about business strategy in line with our EHS policy here. So what business strategy, like we want to make products, we want to make money, we want to do a business, then how safety can be integrated into through it. So first is like, do we have a total awareness of safety culture in the total organization? Yeah. Next, we have, are we giving sufficient training and competence to our all down the line basically? And then when you go to the product stage, are we analyzing that whether the products are having any impacts or on the environment, from the end-to-end cycle? Do we have from the processing to the storage to the transport and until to the end of the life cycle? So do we have a proper analysis of the environmental impact of this? So this is again a leadership requirement also. So then we have customers are involved. So customer education is also important. So when you go to customers, customer education is also important. So if you see an overall total as a top-down leadership, we need to practice from the top. Do we have a zero incident or zero accident commitment? Do we have zero occupational health incident commitment? And are we committed to our health and safety of our employees? So this is where I think basic safety aspects start from the top. In addition to what my panelists have already said, there are other aspects that can define the MOCs and all the other aspects which come down the line, which can actually stipulate how we are going to execute the projects and how we are going to manage in case of any project expansion or in any restructuring or things like that. Yeah. So basic, I would say, is that commitment from the top and commitment to the core is very important for going forward in the, with the business strategy in the chemical industry. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gopinath, for elaborated response. You have covered everything that is required for the demonstrable behavior, starting from the feasibility study and how we navigate through the journey of risk assessment, leadership skills, and training and competence. Now, the one important topic which I heard from you is assessment, how we perceive the risk and how we ensure that it's well identified. So I would like to understand from Mr. Anurag that in a chemical industry, what it takes to have a comprehensive hazard identification and to ensure that all the associated risks are well controlled, specifically when it comes to process safety. Because, there are two aspects of it. One is the occupational safety, second is the process safety. When something untowards happen with the occupational safety, it is high on probabilities, less on severity. But when it comes to process, the untowards incidents are really disastrous. It results in a catastrophe. So process safety management is very important. How do we ensure that? Moreover, process safety management have multiple elements, as we know, and most of the chemical industries are complying with that. Which element is most challenging to implement and moreover keeping the consistency with it?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ritesh. So regarding the implementation of PSM, lot of companies are. The most challenging one are already, one has been already spelled out by our panelists, that MOC, management of change. Change, how do we define a change? And how are we identifying it as a change? Because change maybe at a gradual level, we are considering it, it's a part of a normal process. But exactly identifying, because each means at every level, it has to be recognized it as a change. Our maintenance practices, our operational procedures, our parameters which are being defined, our products, our people, all aspects have to be considered in the change. And there is, we define, there is a small change, there is a big change. Normally, in the industry, the changes are defined as a major change. We are always taking care of, and it goes to a structured process. But the small changes means we have changed a vendor, a supplier, which for a particular product which goes into a very toxic chemical, a gasket, which is not fitting it, and we have implemented it, and we have not undergone the management of change process, and we ignored it, and we have to face the disaster. We have seen it, the change in material of construction, where there are a lot of new duplex noble materials are available, but the history of, means the corrosion studies are not available. And just by the confidence of vendors, we are implementing that change. And at a subsequent time, after a subsequent time, we face that it has leaked. And the third part is the people when they are changed. And I think this is, most industries are not covering people as a part of management of change, wherein particularly at this Dahej or Bharuch or we kind of Gujarat, we see a lot of attrition, and every time a new guys come in, and we have to give him the charge, and we have to leave the plant at his mercy. So to implement that change, that he has understood the operations, the safety aspect of it is very important, and it's a challenge. It's not by saying it, it can be delivered or demonstrated in a day or two. It is a very structured process. We have to simply think of it. A lot of deliberations have to be done, and then we can do. One is this. The second one, I think, is the incident investigation. Whenever we do any incident investigation, we always try to fix a person. Is it true or not? Yes. So, according to our discussions and all, we have seen that either there has to be a SOP which was not covering that aspect, or the SOP training was not provided to the person, or the SOP was not understood by him, or he has not implemented the SOP in the right perspective, the last part of it. So it has come to, if it zero is down to the system, means system, it was not considered in the part of our procedures, it was not understood, then it was not implemented. So covering that part, if we are able to identify these, we will certainly be able to address it in a long-term perspective. It will not get repeated. And that's how, in our case, if any incident happens, it's a repeated, in our balance scorecard, it goes as a 0. And it has a good weightage. 15% of weightage is that if the incident is repeated, whether small or big, it's non-negotiable. So these are the two aspects, I think. And for incident investigation, the closure part of it means whatever the, after RCA we are finding, or whatever the findings are there, these have to be horizontally deployed across the sites and learning from the incidents from other sites also. But unfortunate part is we don't get the true incident investigation reports from our industries. We are also not sharing. I'm not saying that we are open to it. Yes, we are also not sharing it. That's why. So as an industry, we have to join in hands together so that we learn from our mistakes and other mistakes, so it doesn't happen anywhere in India. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Anurag, for such a good insights. Now, Mr. Sahani, we were discussing in a back end, and you shared some interesting insights about PSM elements. So I would also like to understand from you, what are the critical elements for your industry to sustain in terms of PSM?
Yes. Thank you, Ritesh. Actually, PSM is a very vast, but from my thinkings, and I think so you also will give the agreements of this. The two parts, one already the Anurag ji is explained regarding the MOC. We just I want to add two things. And the first thing is the MICA, that is the mechanical integrity check, mechanical integrity checks. What is happening today, nowadays? Most of companies are doing follow-up of the MOC. Whatever changes is there, understanding the incidences, understanding the major accidents, just everyone has implemented, the most of the company has implemented the MOC. Without MOC, we will never go for the change. MOC is must. Everyone has to assess the risk, what is there, how just we will do. Engineering team will understand what kinds of the part is required, what hardware is required. Everything is getting done, no doubt. Now coming to where we are going to put it, just like for a reactor, from the chemical industries, I am giving the example of one reactor. Suppose in a reactor, we have to do one welding. Before doing the welding, we have to understand the life of aging of that reactor. Suppose what is happening for a certain times, the hydro test is also getting passed. The whatever just we have done, RT is also getting passed. But nobody is taking care of the integrity part of that. Because what is the age of the reactor? Is this sustains after 5 days, 10 days of the working? So mechanical integrity part is also must add very importance to that. So the second thing just I want to add into the contractor management. That is a very challenging things. One example again just I want to share the same things from my organizations. What happened, this is a things, very learning things. One turnkey projects our organizations has given to a contractor and the vendor, those who has given, first of all, he shown everything, what is our quality, what is our QAP, how what just we are managing. So kind of things they have impressed to our management, everything is right now. Now the timeline is getting crossed and just a questions came, if the timeline is of this dates, then why this is not getting, why we are not getting the final products which should come up to this date. The many things as he has explained. Now I got the opportunity to see what's going on there and what is the things due to that product is not coming out, and these are the things. So I found that the things was that the material which is getting passed through a pipeline, the pipeline's designs was for a 50 kg of pressure. All the equipments was designs for that. But simply he has not understood what material will pass from here, and with the temperatures, what density will change. So what was happening when this is moving from bottom to top? What is happening? The pipeline is fully with a heating media, supply of heating media to keep the constant temperatures. But the temperatures was not getting maintained throughout the things. So what was happening? The below temperatures, the bottom temperatures was different and top temperatures was different. So what is happening? The density getting changed, and due to that the pressures which should get maintained throughout the pipe was not getting maintained. And finally the material was getting leaked, and up to the trigger points the material was not reaching. Then the questions arise from my side to the contractor. You are telling the persons who is sitting along with you, they are taking care of all aspects, even the material designs and everything. Mechanically you have checks, the design process you have checks, the machines, everything checks. But really what we have to do, the operations what we have to perform, nobody is taking care of the material density when this will get changed. So this is coming as a contract, means what we are giving to the contracts to our teams. This is, however, they are telling everything, they are explaining everything, even though we have to take care from our sides really what they are doing. So management of this is also very must, and this is also playing a very important role in this. Sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Sahani.
Ritesh, I would like to add a couple of things.
Sure.
First of all, my name is Dharmesh, folks. Good morning. So we talked about leadership, we talked about culture, and we talked about untoward incidents right now, right? So I come from a different varied background. I belong to a tech background, so I come from a technology background. I am not hands-on operational as you folks are. So just to give you a different perspective or a different viewpoint, in terms of culture, leadership, in our case, we don't have labor laws or labor issues being in the technology side of things. At the same time, we have other set of issues such as stress, overload of work, and employee retention is here again a major issue as well in where I work, in the industry that I work, right? And when it comes to safety, we talked about leadership, the role of leadership and the importance of it. So I think in a standard, since I interact with a lot of folks in a lot of industries, like oil and gas, chemical industries, steel transportation, so on and so forth, thanks to my occupation that I'm in, what I have noticed typically is the culture of safety, especially in our country, unfortunately, we don't lead with safety as a point in the front. That has been the case since the beginning, right? And you can see the result is because there are so many fatalities either inside the plant or on the road as well. So since I come from the road technology, road safety, today India is the #1 in terms of road fatalities. I don't know how many people know that. We are the world's leading brand for road fatalities. And that's not a very good place to be. So just to give you some numbers, we lose 150,000 people on the road due to accidents. And if you reverse calculate that, that is basically we are losing 11 lives every hour by the averages. So if you look at the time, since morning we've had how many hours of meeting, that means by the averages we have lost so many lives already on the road. It's like 2 jumbo jets crashing every day and we still don't make news, right? So that is what I'm trying to point out here, that we still are lagging far behind when it comes to safety. We are taking steps. There are a lot of, like, we have an event right now which is exclusively talking about safety, HSE, right? This is definitely a step towards it. But I personally feel we are still a lot far behind and we need to catch up if we have to meet the international standards and stay at par in reducing the lives of, losing our lives and, taking care of our people. And one more small example in my own company to share how important the company culture is when it comes to employee safety. So in our business, we don't go through such rigorous exposure to harmful elements. In our business, in my line of sight of things, I travel a lot, okay, which is probably 10% of what you guys do, the hardships that your employees go. So I travel a lot, and one of the things that shows that my company takes care of me is the company books the tickets for me, right? And it so happened that I had to reach a place called Munuguda in Odisha because I was visiting Vedanta's plant and near Lanjigar. And 2 days before the travel, my HR calls me, says, Dharmesh, we are not able to find any good hotel in that particular place. Would you still want to continue the trip? I said, look, you have done your job. I have to do my job. I have to get business for my company. Find any goddamn hotel, I'll go because I have to do, that's my job. But then that feeling that reassured me that, look, somebody is there to take care of me. That somebody called and ensured that the place where I'm going, is it having a proper place to stay or not? A basic amenity, right? So I think this comes down from the top down. If the top management or the leadership is not hell-bent on safety for their employees, it does not get percolated to a level that I just shared with you, right? So this is something we all have to work together and ensure that we are also leading in terms of safety as well, not just in terms of losing lives, right? Thanks.
Thanks, Dharmesh, for the insights. Now, yes, please. Actually, I am coming to you, sir. Now, I would like to connect the dots because Mr. Anurag says the blame game, whenever incident happens and we do the incident investigation or, in fact, irrespective of incident investigation, any untoward situation that arises. Now, someone says 20 years back, someone came with the philosophy that 95% of the incidents happen because of human error and 5% are because of external factors. But we have taken it too far, 95% of human error, we have taken it too far and it goes into the spirit which it was not meant for. It resulted into the blame game. Similarly, what Dharmesh talked, it is connecting the dots, like it is psychological safety plus circumstances plus resources. So in language of human and organizational performance, we call it as setting the context. And context set the behavior. So, Mr. Gopinath, I would like to come to you in terms of management of change, how important it is to have a personal change management. We talk about technology change management in case of processes and equipment, but it is equally important to ensure that if we have change in person at any level of the organization, starting from managing director or operation head to the operator, we ensure that right person comes into that place which fits and which continue the culture which we have set.
Okay, so first I just wanted to corroborate what is now what Mr. Dharmesh told. So the reported accidents, I think this only reported accidents, right? It's unreported is still maybe large. So I remember, I think around 7-8 years ago, I saw a figure in Mumbai, trains alone, 11 deaths per day, only in trains, okay? So which is, this shows the safety culture outside of our industry. So we have to be very much critical when the people come into the factory and then expect that, okay, overnight they're going to change the safety behavior. No, it's not going to happen, yeah? So, coming to the question of MOCs, MOC is very critical part, and I would say that we have in our company, we have a different levels of MOCs, right? So we have like level 1, 2, and 3, and 3 goes to up to the process safety expert also. So this is how we manage. After that, we also before that, we also have one more pre-MOC kind of stuff where we ensure that we filter out all the requirements and then ensure that there is no things left out. Then we have a kind of a whole side. The important people sit there, and EHS, the maintenance heads, and then we discuss and cross question and challenge. That's how we challenge each other, and then we get to the pinpoint. Okay, if there is any loophole in the process or in the when the P&ID is not properly done, or people have not understood the process properly, these will be corrected. So if you don't correct this, the MOC is executed, and after the MOC is executed, then we will have a problem. We will have a process issue. We will have an occupational hazard issue. So MOC is very critical. We have all the 14 elements in the PSM. I think MOC covers most of this. We have information. We have process safety information. We have training. We have contract handling, contract manpower handling. We have everything in that. All is included in the MOCs. So MOC being very critical to the organization, and we also observe that if you see any process incidents, process safety incidents throughout our globally, some are on a many pinpoint towards MOCs basically. MOC was not properly done, and this MOC leads to catastrophic incidents if it's not properly done. So minor changes might have been done, but the incidents might have been catastrophic and can be very destructive to the company. So how critical is MOC is how we define it in our organization. It's very, very important how seriously we take MOC as a crucial element as part of our process safety. So it again comes back to the leadership again. So if there is no MOC in our company, what we do, if in the audit itself, if there is no MOC is found, then we make it very critical. So it goes to the board basically. So then this is again a top-down issue where top people are so interested in getting things done. So automatically things will flow in the medium level and the bottom level. Coming to what Mr. Anurag had told about the incident investigation, yes, most of the incidents we pinpoint to the human issue. So maybe he was lethargic, or the forklift driver was slow, or something like that. But what caused behind that? That also we need to investigate. Why he was allowed to do this, or why operator was allowed to do this, open the valve wrongly. Can we find a basic background or a basic root cause for that? You have to dig deep into the root causes. That will give a clear indication of why these incidents happen. Otherwise, the incidents is going to happen again. So we are not going to rule out. If you just to take the human factor, we penalize the person there, and then the next person is going to commit the same mistake again. So I think these are the crucial factors we need to look into it when we have the MOC or when we have the incident investigation. And this will again make it foolproof and error-proof. So for the future, so you don't repeat the incidents. You don't ensure that we give a circumstance to repeat the incident again.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Gopinath, and thank you for giving such a detailed insights on management of change. And of course, I 100% agree with you. Whenever we do or whenever we see any detailed investigation report of any catastrophic incident, finally it goes down to the management of change. And in fact, the concept of management of change arises out of the disastrous incident that happened in the Flixborough. And that incident is a pioneer for initiating this concept called management of change. Now going down further, one level, we talk about mechanical integrity. I think Mr. Sahani highlighted that point. How important it is to ensure that our equipment are well efficient, remains in control, but moreover, what kind of engineering controls we need and what role that plays to ensure that our processes are efficient as well as safe. So I would again like to understand it from Mr. Gopinath.
So sorry, can you repeat?
about engineering controls.
Yeah. Okay. So for this, sorry, for which point? Yes. Okay. So yeah, engineering controls. Yeah. So there are three methods that we say when we design a project or a process. Let's say TOP basically, yeah, technical, organizational, and personal. So engineering controls come under technical basically, and why it is so crucial? Because just now I spoke about accidents and incidents. Yeah. Why do we have to give a condition to ensure that the accidents are happening? So we make the condition, we provide the condition to ensure that the incidents happen or accidents happen. Should we remove it? So then engineering controls come into place. So first level of operational control is engineering control. Then we go to if all the risk is mitigated, then minor risk, then we say, okay, let's go for organizational, personal control basically. So crucial point of engineering control is required because any small incident that can happen through a lapse in engineering control can result in a human fatality or in a human incident basically, where occupational hazards will come into picture or environmental hazards may come into picture. So to avoid that, I think engineering control is very, very important. So everywhere we should go, whether can we upgrade it in the process safety hierarchy. First is engineering, and then then first is substitution of material, where you eliminate the hazard itself. Then you come to engineering controls, and then you come the lower level of controls. So I mean, we can see many incidents where there are engineering controls are not in place, where people go and check, and then they fail to check, and then the incident happens. So it's if you entirely depend on organizational control and SOPs only, then it's not going to be fruitful towards, especially in case of highly hazardous chemicals, or if you are involving in hazardous chemicals in normal day-to-day activities. So that's where it is very important, I feel. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gopinath, for explaining the hierarchy of controls and how important the engineering controls are to ensure that our processes remain safe and we can prevent the incidents.